Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang.
And I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Tonight, more children across Canada get that back-to-school mix of joy and anxiety.
It's really weird not to be able to see people's smiles and stuff.
Plus, how Alberta is dealing with its in-school cases.
We have to start putting the hammer down on people that don't want to follow protocols and guidelines.
With COVID numbers up, BC and Ontario are cracking down.
Smoke, haze, and ash from U.S. wildfires.
Each is going to damage or compromise the airways and the immune system.
An added COVID risk for southern British Columbia.
And a museum's take on COVID-19.
So there we go in Arabic. It says, "This too shall pass."
A message of optimism.
Indeed.
Curating the course of a pandemic, mask by mask. This is The National.
Most Canadians could look back on this summer with some satisfaction. Lockdowns eased, cases fell, nearly normal seemed nearly within reach.
Well, that summer is now over, and public health officials know it.
Right now, what we're focusing on is there going to be a full resurgence?
Surely, steadily, the rate of transmission in the country has risen. Now it's more than 600 new cases a day. In Ontario and Quebec alone, average daily new cases are roughly double what they were just a few weeks ago. And this reflects the reality before back to school and before colder weather drives us all indoors. As Thomas Daigle explains, from Ontario to Quebec and to BC as well, as COVID-19 transmission speeds up, the approach to nearly normal may be screeching to a halt.
So much for this. With case counts rising in BC, public health is ordering nightclubs and banquet halls closed, cutting off liquor sales elsewhere every night at 10, even telling venues to lower music levels.
I do think these are necessary actions right now. It's going to be a challenging time for those businesses, and I think we need to all start rethinking about what we need to do to get us through the next few months.
Those are more draconian measures than what these two premiers have announced for Ontario and Quebec, though they too are seeing more infections. Consider 3 ministers from François Legault's cabinet are all now isolating after potential exposure. Such is the risk in Quebec. Once seen as Canada's COVID epicenter, it's again approaching a daily average of 200 new cases.
There's good reason to think it's the beginning of a more substantial increase as people go back to school, go back to work, start taking public transit more, etc.
Quebec unveiled a new regional alert system. It's color-coded, indicating 4 stages of severity, with most of the province in green so far, but pockets of yellow signal an early warning of growing transmission that may only worsen.
I hope not. That's exactly what we're trying to prevent.
In Ontario, too, the long lineups for testing highlight a growing threat. More infections, along with fears of community spread.
It's not reported publicly how many of those cases are the result of an infection being acquired in the home versus the workplace.
As a precaution, Ontario now says it won't consider loosening restrictions to allow any bigger gatherings for at least another 4 weeks.
There is no clear plan right now to go back to stage 2. That doesn't mean we wouldn't.
What worries the premier is parties with no masks or distancing, and big weddings, like one held recently at venues in the Toronto area. The event now linked to at least 23 infections.
Postpone your wedding, get married in a small group, but you can't have these big gatherings.
Other provinces will be watching as BC moves first to impose new restrictions, perhaps a sign of things to come elsewhere as the crisis looks bound to worsen once again. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, Toronto.
And there's something else Canadians are concerned about as summer fades into fall. Health officials, political leaders, and parents alike keeping COVID-19 from shutting down the school year that's barely begun.
I think there's a lot of excitement from the students and also some apprehension.
With classes already underway in Quebec, Alberta, and the North, schools reopened in much of the rest of English Canada today. Here's what some told us about everything from seeing friends.
Nervous and excited.
We can all get through this and, make this a great year together.
Smile more, Melly, smile.
Smile, can't you smile?
I am smiling.
To wearing masks.
I think it can be cool. Like, you can wear a new one every day if you want.
But perhaps less enthusiasm from the parents.
Confused because we are not sure what exactly to expect. Yeah.
I think it's going to add a lot of stress to something that's already stressful for them.
Well, Ontarians are certainly feeling some stress now, but despite criticism over everything from health measures to class sizes, provincial officials say schools are ready. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson looks at some reaction to day one.
No mask can conceal the happiness of Elliot Beatty to see his mom and dad at the end of his very first school day.
So his teachers told us that he was able to keep his mask on for majority of the day, and he had it on when we dropped him off, as well as when we picked him up. He said he did great hand washing.
Go to your left, go to your left, go to your left.
For older students, the bar for a good first day is a bit higher.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to get my way around the school, learn my way around the school, and that I just have fun, even with the fact that we're dealing with a global pandemic.
It's really weird not being able to see people's smiles and stuff when you're trying to like greet people. It's just like, I'm smiling.
But for parents, worries are far from over.
Oh, just what is going to happen if there is a positive case within his classroom? We haven't really...
Or even in this school, like, we haven't heard a lot of protocols.
Another concern they have is shared by many other parents, class sizes. As almost 30% of families opted for online learning, many thought it would naturally lead to smaller class sizes. Instead, families are learning those smaller classes may well be merged into one bigger class.
So my youngest one, Yusuf, I again just found out this morning, his class has been collapsed. They are combining classes now, collapsing and combining. So he, in fact, will be in a grade 6-7 split.
Romana Siddiqui also just learned today her kid's school is considered a hotspot, a school with a higher risk of an outbreak.
I'm now thinking about just keeping my kids at home. It's making me feel like I'm putting my family, my children in the line of fire directly.
Tough calls and last-minute changes as the new school year brings with it a test parents and educators aren't sure they're ready to face. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, Alberta has had a week's worth of experience running classes during the pandemic. Provincial leaders are confident things are under control, but those on the ground less certain. And some already feel like they're doing damage control. Carolyn Dunn shows us why.
At schools across Alberta, optimism has crashed headlong into the reality of restarting education during a pandemic. After the first week of school, more than 24 people have tested positive for COVID-19. Of those, 11 people from 11 schools were diagnosed while infectious to others.
When you find out that there's a case, it shocks us and it makes us want to take more safety measures for the future.
I'm a bit worried. I think it was handled pretty well, but I'm just a bit scared. I don't want to get the virus or anything.
Their principal went further on social media, saying she's exhausted, furious, and anxious, among other things. She pointed the finger of blame at the Premier for a lack of government support. "This is your fault, Jason," she wrote, before inviting him and the Education Minister to spend a day at her school. Experts say the concerns should be tempered. So far, all of the cases in schools have come from outside.
And so one should not assume that because there was an infected, possibly able to transmit person in the classroom, that there necessarily has been spread within the classroom.
She also notes that COVID-19 is only transmitted between 10 and 15% of the time in the home. And classes with a confirmed active infectious case have been quarantined. But Alberta is experiencing its highest COVID caseload since May, and stemming the spread in schools may depend on reversing that.
We know that in places where community transmission is rising, that we will see cases coming into schools, and our job is to prevent that from spreading in the school.
It's too early to know if current COVID measures in schools are enough. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
In Quebec, a group of parents have lost the first round in a legal fight, demanding the province extend online learning to all students. Right now, school attendance is mandatory, with online learning limited to students with medical exemptions. Today, a judge rejected the request to broaden those exemptions temporarily and said the case will be heard at a later date.
Late-stage studies of a possible COVID-19 vaccine have now been placed on hold while investigators look into a potentially unexplained illness in one of the trial volunteers. The vaccine is being studied in thousands of patients in the United States and the United Kingdom. Reports suggest the illness occurred in a UK volunteer, but no information about the possible side effect has been released. And Ottawa has ordered a review of the country's pandemic alert system after claims some scientists' early warnings about COVID-19 were ignored.
Difficulties of public servants or our staff in expressing their views and their concerns has to be taken really seriously.
Dr. Tam says the Global Public Health Intelligence Network did pick up some information last year, but she didn't hear about it until late December or early January. The independent review will be done by experts outside of the Public Health Agency.
The new Conservative leader named his opposition critics today. And with rumblings of a possible fall election, Aaron O'Toole is also giving Canadians a sense of where he plans to take the party. Catherine Cullen has more from Ottawa.
I was raised in a General Motors family.
He may be the Conservative leader, but Aaron O'Toole is warning big business is part of the problem for some workers.
Corporate and financial power brokers who care more about their shareholders than their employees.
And he's calling for better pay. Unionized workers were once left to the left, not anymore.
I will always put American workers first, always. They'll always be put first.
It's a repositioning for the Conservative movement.
This strategist says it's wise to speak to those feeling left behind.
The real sort of electoral wins come from motivating voters who don't show up in the first place.
O'Toole is also talking about a Canada First economic policy.
Is that different than what Donald Trump says is America First?
No, it's not different at all. In fact, there's more self-sufficiency.
He says that means ensuring Canada has a more secure supply of personal protective equipment and food, though he is emphasizing some international cooperation, like meeting the Paris climate targets.
Yes, that will be our intention.
Then again, former leader Andrew Scheer also supported the targets. He was still criticized for not having a strong enough environmental plan.
We weren't solid enough on this issue in the last few years, and when we said to people we were against the carbon tax because it was unfair, it was uncompetitive, we had to say what we were for.
He's for working with the provinces to lower emissions, he says. And in the midst of COVID, O'Toole says he won't aim to balance the budget for a decade, something Canadians are less concerned about these days, says this pollster.
They're more worried about what's going on job-wise for them, or access to health care, or access to housing.
Tomorrow in that building, O'Toole will meet in person with his MPs and senators to work on his stated goal, to get more Canadians to see themselves as Conservatives. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, O'Toole will move into Stornoway, the opposition leader's residence, once the National Capital Commission does some repairs. But he wants it to be made clear that he's not the one asking for those repairs, because as Ashley Burke explains, upkeep of official residences often can't help but get political.
It's a rare opportunity, a chance to repair this 107-year-old official residence before the new Conservative leader moves in.
If the NCC does something before we get in there, we want it to be minimal.
But the National Capital Commission has a long list of projects with a price tag estimated at about $170,000. According to a source, it's NCC policy not to voluntarily disclose those costs to the new occupant. They don't want politicians canceling the work out of fear of a public backlash.
From one prime minister or leader of opposition to another, they will never want to commit to appear to spend taxpayer money that could be interpreted that it would be for their own benefit or their own family benefit.
It's a problem almost as old as the buildings themselves, and why 24 Sussex, the Prime Minister's official residence, has deteriorated to an unlivable state.
No Prime Minister ever wanted to spend a penny of taxpayer dollars on upkeeping that house.
In 2018, the parties were asked if they could take politics out of the debate over 24 Sussex. But it was O'Toole himself who balked at that then, saying he wanted Justin Trudeau to pay back public money spent on his trip to the Aga Khan's private island first.
We want to see that. Then we could talk about working with them on something.
Now the NCC is fixing up O'Toole's new house, including fresh paint, kitchen renovations, and a new garage roof. O'Toole told Power and Politics his family plans to move in as much of their own furniture as possible.
We have an honor of serving this role right now, but we're not asking for any work or repairs.
CBC News has also learned the NCC is working with the government to try and take politicians out of the equation, so crucial maintenance work can go ahead without politics getting in the way. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Overseas now, in a dramatic development in the tragic case of Myanmar's Rohingya Muslims, CBC News has learned that 2 men believed to be deserters from Myanmar's army are now in custody, and they're talking about what they say they were ordered to do. Sasha Petrusik has the details.
Over 3 years, almost 1 million Rohingya Muslim refugees have streamed out of Myanmar into Bangladesh, fleeing burning villages, carrying stories of mass murder by the country's military, claims of genocide against Myanmar's Buddhist majority in power. The generals have always denied it. But now, 2 foot soldiers seem to support the accusations after escaping to tell the UN's International Court in The Hague. They describe being ordered to destroy village after village, commanded to kill civilians, adults, and children, and throw them into mass graves. Corporals, sergeants, and officers raped Rohingya women, says the private. I raped once.
We should not underestimate the importance of the testimony of foot soldiers who confess to committing crimes under direct orders from their commanders to basically exterminate civilian populations.
Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi, once a human rights icon, denied state atrocities last December.
Myanmar requests the court to remove the case from its list,
asking judges for a dismissal in The Hague.
Her argument was, yes, bad things happen, but it was really these were just rogue actors. Bad people do bad things.
Canada's former special envoy to Myanmar says now it seems more systemic.
They were told by others to do something. So then the question becomes, how do we go up the chain of command?
The 2 foot soldiers are likely to be charged, but they may also become key witnesses against an entire state. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Toronto.
In Belarus, the whereabouts of one of the country's most prominent opposition activists remains unknown. Her detention brought renewed anger to the streets today from those who've spent weeks protesting what they call a corrupt presidential election result. Chris Brown explains.
In Minsk, police arrested dozens as supporters of Maria Kolesnikova demanded her freedom. Over the weekend, as she marched against President Alexander Lukashenko, she was asked if she was afraid of being targeted.
No, I'm not worried. I'm very safe.
But it now appears Belarus's secret police tried to forcibly get her out of the country, first by abducting her and then blackmailing 2 of her colleagues to drive her to Ukraine. In the end, they went, but she did not. The plan was to make it look like she was abandoning her cause, they said, but instead she tore up her passport into pieces so she couldn't leave Belarus. The move earned her praise from a fellow protest leader.
I'm really proud of Maria if it is true that she didn't let her to kick out of the country. She's a brave woman.
Belarus's president spent the day talking to Russian TV stations, spinning it that Kolesnikova was running away, and talking about himself in the third person. If Lukashenko collapses, the whole system will collapse, he said. Western nations have struggled to exert much influence on Lukashenko and the often violent conduct of his security forces. Canada is urging dialogue.
That's where Canada is trying to make a difference, is to establish a dialogue between the leading opposition candidates and the Lukashenko regime. I made that demand to the foreign minister when I talked to him.
Lukashenko says he will not talk to his opponents, nor, crucially, does the Kremlin think he should. Tonight he confirmed that Kolesnikova is still detained. Chris Brown, CBC News, Moscow.
Southern British Columbia is feeling the effects of wildfires raging south of the border. Next on The National, a dangerous mix, smoke and COVID-19.
Lower your sword.
What? And calls to boycott Disney's new movie Grow Louder, the backlash against Mulan.
And we take you inside Canada's biggest museum, collecting the defining artifacts of the pandemic.
So there we go in Arabic. It says, "This too shall pass."
Chronicling history as it unfolds. We're back in 2.
Welcome back. Wildfires continue to rage along the U.S. West Coast, all the way north to Washington, and there is no let-up in sight. In California, the situation remains dire, with most regions under the highest fire alert. Unprecedented heat and strong winds are fueling the flames. And as Briar Stewart tells us, the harsh evidence has now made its way to this country.
Well, there's a gas station. They don't have any fuel left, though.
This was one man's escape from the rapidly growing creek fire last night, and then the view this morning. The fire has already burned nearly 600 square kilometers,
Prepare for evacuation.
forcing evacuations.
Just say some prayers. We don't want to see this place go up in smoke.
The state's National Guard had to airlift hundreds of campers who were trapped in the Sierra National Forest. And officials believe there are more out there. The flames and heavy smoke have hampered rescue efforts.
There are a lot of people that are still trying to be rescued, and we've made multiple attempts over the past couple of days trying to get to some of those remote campsites.
The inferno has torn through mountain towns, but it's so dangerous, so out of control, that there's no count of just how many buildings have been destroyed. But further north in Washington state, in the town of Malden, they know how much was damaged. 80% of the town is gone, including the post office and Shannon Thornton's home.
Everything gone. Clothes, beds, everything.
Smoke from those fires has wafted into BC. It's settled over Metro Vancouver, but Victoria and the Okanagan are seeing the worst of it. Air quality advisories are in place, and COVID-19 means the risk could be even greater.
The wildfire smoke, as with most smoke, is going to have an effect on the immune system. And of course, with an infectious disease like COVID, having a weakened immune system is not a good thing.
Which is why officials say children, the elderly, and people with health problems should avoid strenuous activities outside. The smoke could linger for another couple of days as crews try to bring all of the fires south of the border under control. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.
Mulan is the latest remake of a Disney animated film, something fans have been waiting for. But a live-action feature based on China's past isn't easy to separate from China's present, and that's drawing critics too. Eli Glasner explains.
Mulan was one of my favorite stories when I grew up in China. I was born and raised in Beijing.
I've heard a great deal about you, Mulan.
Like many millennials, Johar Ilham has fond memories of the original Mulan and was excited about the adaptation.
Commander, son of Hua Zhou.
In the new movie, Mulan fights for her country and her father. But Ilham hasn't seen her father since he was taken by the government and imprisoned for advocating for China's Uyghur minority. Many of her other relatives are part of the over 1 million Uyghurs forced to go to what China calls re-education camps, camps in the same region as where Mulan was filmed.
When I heard that the location of where the film was shot was very close to the locations of those camps, it made me feel, I don't know what phrase, what term I can use to describe it. I feel extremely sad.
Not only was part of Mulan shot in the same region, the closing credits thanked the government's security and publicity departments.
This film was made to get benefits or even help the government to earn more benefits while those people are being exploited and being tortured.
Now activists are speaking out, online and in person.
We urge people around the world to boycott the new Mulan movie.
This journalist says by filming in the same region as the camps, Disney is spreading China's propaganda.
We're giving them trainings. It's all going to be fine. Nothing to see here. And engagement with companies like Disney does help carry that message globally.
CBC News contacted both Mulan's director and Walt Disney Studios, who offered no comment. But the controversy undercuts Disney's message for Mulan, says this economics expert.
Huge themes like loyalty.
Loyal, brave, and true.
Not only a public relations disaster, but something that was inevitably going to be picked up and, further highlight is Disney really practicing what it's preaching in a lot of these movies.
While the backlash could affect Disney's bottom line, Mulan is moving forward, set to open in theaters in China this Friday. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
Next, we return to Beirut more than a month after the explosion. With homes in ruins and a government in disarray, hope comes from neighbors reaching out.
And as millions of Canadians return to school, we take you to one community where kids have already been back since July.
Network.
It has been more than a month since a deadly explosion destroyed much of the Lebanese capital. Entire neighborhoods of Beirut are still in ruins, and the hope of finding any survivors has now ended. Reality is now starting to sink in, and for many that means facing an even more uncertain future. Margaret Evans takes us there.
Days end on a strip of highway overlooking the site of Lebanon's latest wound, the twisted remains of Beirut's port, drawing people like a siren's call. Some to pose against the backdrop of history, but others to probe the depth of the injury and draw loved ones close. Beirut is now a city of slogans and wishful thinking, promising resurrection. Dr. Peter Noon can be found deep in the bowels of the St. George Hospital, almost completely destroyed by the explosion. The pediatric oncologist has only now got a couple of chemotherapy suites up and running for outpatients.
We are not comfortable here. We are not in our place, but we're back. This is a sign that we will continue.
It's no small feat. These images were taken by the father of one of Noon's patients, looking for his wife and daughter right after the blast. The stuff of nightmares, especially for a family with a child battling cancer. Yasma, reunited with her father and moved to a hospital north of Beirut, tells us she's 4 and that she wasn't afraid. But her mother, Hannah, says the explosion has robbed them of any sense of security they had left.
We no more feel safe and strong to support her to fight against the cancer. So it's starting from us. If we tell her again that everything's gonna be okay, actually we are lying on her.
Every parent we meet at either hospital says they see no future for their children in Lebanon.
For him, I want him to live. And I have another daughter. I want them to leave Lebanon for studying, for work, for safety. I want them to leave. Nothing is stable in Lebanon.
Not even the hospitals, victims of Lebanon's financial meltdown, unpaid bills and inflation, making drugs and equipment too expensive.
Many of them are at danger of closing because we cannot afford anymore to pay all these bills. Hospitals cannot, people cannot, nobody can.
Lebanon was already on its knees, and when 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate, neglected for years, exploded, it took with it a critical lifeline for the country.
Some 80% of the goods that Lebanon consumes are actually imported, and most of them, including much-needed grain supplies, came through this port, now just a husk of its former self.
There is, walking Beirut streets, a sense of vertigo. Shorn buildings and homes turned inside out, a reflection almost of people's inner turmoil, the sense of things hanging by a thread. Mahul Al-Hamid stares out from the balcony of his rented apartment at an ever-shrinking horizon. He's one of over 1 million Syrian refugees in Lebanon. They think we are a burden, he says, but he brought his children in 2016, he explains, to make them safer from the war. Another parent whose sense of security has vanished. His youngest daughter, Sama, lost her eye in the explosion. Smart as a whip and in control of the room, she patiently describes what happened for a visiting news crew. Thieves came out that night, she tells us, along with ghosts and lions and everything scary. No wonder. Sama was hit by flying glass, a neighbor rushing her to hospital, blood streaming down her face. Now, she says, her dream is to find another eye. Her father's options, though, are few. A day laborer out of work with pandemic lockdowns and no medical insurance. The stories drift easily from one street to another, as if plucked from Sama's imagination, but all too real. Someone has taken all the clocks from Abdo Faroun's house and put them in a pile. They all stopped around the time of the explosion. Faroun was born in the house. It's over 200 years old, a former heritage gem, now with a collapsed roof and its living room walls blown clear off.
This window has been opening up the last 5 days.
Its savior, Faroun's savior, comes not in the form of government help, but in a wealthy engineer, donating time and workers.
We live in a country where we can't expect anything from anybody but ourselves.
Riyad al-Assad says he will stay in Lebanon even though he believes the sectarian leaders who've long ruled the country are going nowhere.
We used to say we fight for our kids, but our kids don't want us to fight for them. They've left, so we're fighting for ourselves. We're not fighting for the memory, but we're fighting to whatever we believed in and stood by.
But it is as much an emotional fight as a physical one. A sustained effort to keep faith in a city and a country that promises to rise again, even as it falls yet again. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Beirut.
Wow. Next, documenting a defining part of pandemic life. We've got a clear message. Stay home.
Stay home, Toronto.
We visit Canada's largest museum, collecting masks in order to tell the story of COVID-19 for generations to come.
And later, the Canadian teenager who may have just thrown a record-setting pitch. That is ahead in tonight's Moment.
Tom? Tom!
Mayday, Mayday. This is Maggie Cabot.
I think something has happened to my husband.
Welcome back. Masks. They represent so much of what 2020 has thrown at the world. And we see them everywhere, but it's what they say about us that has spurred a global effort to chronicle this pandemic as it unfolds. Few symbols say as much as simply and straightforwardly as a mask. It hides. It empowers. It protects.
Effectively make it mandatory for people to wear masks or face coverings inside businesses or public facilities.
It is both a source of comfort and a lightning rod for conflict.
Well, by the way, they'll say this whole mask thing is settled science, just like they do with climate change.
There have been several mask-related confrontations out here.
I don't have a mask.
Which is why, in the halls of Canada's largest museum, urgent work is underway to capture a moment in time. Hi, Alexandra.
Oh, Andrew, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This is it.
This is it, yes.
The product of months of work in a pandemic.
Yes, this is what we do in the museum.
This is Alexandra Palmer, a curator at the Royal Ontario Museum.
Okay.
Like everyone else, she and her team have been isolating, but called into action in a very special way.
18th century, you said?
She's been collecting artifacts of COVID, and each of these masks tells a story. This pattern, instantly recognizable.
Yes, and then the Canadian Nova Scotia tartness, a wonderful woman from Halifax.
Right from the home of Sherry Kearney, who went from making tartan clothing to making masks. She raised more than $10,000 for local food banks.
And then there were the Nova Scotia shootings.
Right.
So she contributed to those families.
Right.
These ones by a Toronto company called Peace Collective that's very socially minded.
Well, they've got a clear message. Stay home, Toronto.
Stay home, Toronto. So this was sort of Prime Minister Trudeau every day.
Enough is enough. Go home and stay home.
Palmer and her team have collected masks that are whimsical, some a little bit wild, even wired. Okay, so what does this mean? That I'm a part of history?
Indeed you are, Andrew. You are now. Yes, you're on a mask.
And the pandemic being not just a Canadian threat, but one spanning the world.
I was looking at masks from Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Central Asia, Jordan.
This is Famida Suleiman, another curator. Her specialty, the Islamic world. And what does that say? It's just right across the front.
So there we go in Arabic. It says, "This too shall pass."
A message of optimism.
Indeed.
You know, the same sentiments that echo around the world of, you know, how you may be in your little tiny bubble, but we're kind of all in the same boat.
All in the same boat, except when we weren't. Remember a time before masks were a must? Some were ahead of the curve, but whether masks were actually necessary to protect the public at large, a matter of fierce debate.
What we worry about is actually the potential negative aspects of wearing masks.
Masks would become both objects of altruism and at times symbols of weakness, a forfeiting of freedom.
But you're making me wear a mask, otherwise you're gonna deny me service if I don't wear a mask.
But you're not gonna tell us to do what we don't wanna do.
And then we had Black Lives Matter, which was another real galvanizing moment.
Our streets! Our streets!
This idea of text on the mask, the sort of the new T-shirt of, you know, wearing who you are on your sleeve and making it very visible.
That so many world events and issues converged and coalesced on such a simple piece of fabric. No wonder Palmer's keen eye sees much more than just masks. They're more like chapters in a book.
Oh, that looks quite good. And this is the one with the straw, is it?
It's a reusable straw.
Oh my goodness.
With a cleaner.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Patio's opened in Toronto.
Entering phase 2, right?
Yeah, so this sort of marks that moment of maybe a bit of happiness coming.
Well, and did you find that you saw that evolution in the masks that you collected?
Yeah, absolutely, and the availability of masks changed too, really radically. So sometimes we'd find something on the internet and then it was all sold out.
Hence, the importance of chronicling COVID as it unfolds, so that future generations understand what it meant to live through this pandemic.
It's a story of redemption in some way, and people are good, and people, you know, want to do something that's effective, and, you know, we need to start thinking on a more communal scale to get through COVID and to get through the serious issues that face us ahead, I think.
So their work continues, and the curators, they have a proposal into the museum to have an exhibit, possibly online, possibly as early as this fall.
So that's really interesting because I think when you live through something, you don't necessarily want to be reminded of it.
Right.
But looking at it, actually, I would love that.
It would make for a fascinating exhibit.
It would.
Yeah.
Next, we visit a First Nation that has been back to school for more than a month.
No coughing, no runny nose, no fever.
How students and the community are adjusting to a much different new normal.
Tom? Tom!
Mayday, Mayday. This is Maggie Cabot.
I think something has happened to my husband.
We're gonna play! More families.
The Giddy Sea!
More feuding.
Let's keep playing.
A new season of Family Feud coming this fall on CBC.
I'm Josh Block. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Frontburner. As overdose deaths continue to spike in BC, we'll hear why families want greater regulation of addiction treatment in the province. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see my friends.
As long as everyone's wearing a mask, I guess it'll be okay for now.
Everyone seems to be taking it kind of seriously. I hope that lasts long.
Okay, so pretty unusual back to school today for most Canadian kids. On top of the typical anxiety during this time of year, students, staff, and parents will now have to start getting used to the next normal. But at one school in BC, the kids have been back in class for 6 weeks. There were plenty of changes to make before the doors were opened. Briar Stewart explains.
Even as the McKay children wait for the bus, they're getting a lesson in spacing out.
Well, we put the chairs in place 6 feet apart just to get the kids' mindset started on that they need to start social distancing.
But this is now routine on the Lytton First Nation as students headed back to class at the end of July. There is screening before they get on the bus.
Morning, Lucas.
And once they arrive at school.
No coughing, no runny nose, no fever.
Stein Valley Nilakatmuk School is independent and follows a year-round schooling model. Students are taught academic classes alongside the Nilakatmuk language and traditional skills like canning.
Squish it down to the wooden spoon.
This was the first public or independent school in BC to go back after the summer break, and initially there was a lot of fear.
We've had a long history of losing many of our people through pandemics. And so I needed to be sure that what we were presenting to the community and to the board and to the staff and the parents was actually something that they could buy into.
Ready? Joanne Limbo Bolin and her husband were conflicted.
I didn't want to send my children to school at first, but then being at home since March, it's pretty tolling on their mental health as well as the parents.
Her concerns were eased because there hasn't been any cases of COVID-19 in the community and because of the precautions the school has taken. Class sizes were capped at no more than 15 students. 2 extra teachers were hired. Signs have been put up throughout the school. Arrows are in the hallway indicating which direction students should travel in. All the water fountains are off limits because they're high-touch surfaces, so students have been given a water bottle instead. The lockers are closed off too to prevent students from congregating in the hallways. Young students were also given pool noodles to help them spread out. In many ways, this school is well positioned for the new health guidelines. It's large and there's plenty of outdoor space, including a farm which the students take care of. Nearly all of the 102 students who go here have returned to class. A positive thing, says the school's administrator, because many struggled with remote learning.
The vast majority of our kids that really need that structure, that routine, that instruction, that connection.
And they're getting that now, even if the school days look a little different. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Lytton First Nation.
Well, next on The National, a teenager pitches a fastball. A very fast ball, blowing away even her coaches. That's next in our moment.
So remember her face, remember her name. Rain Padgham has been playing baseball since she was 2. So this 15-year-old knows what she's doing, but then she pitched a ball that blew everyone away. She was told to throw the ball as hard as she could, so she did. And that wild pitch is our moment.
I just finished all of what the coaches had asked me to do, and then Anthony Puda asked me to just throw as hard as I could. He didn't care whether it was a strike or not. And I was okay, and then I threw it, and then I heard him say 83, and I was kind of shocked at myself because I've never thrown over 80 before, as far as like I know. A lot of my like teammates and stuff were, how fast did you throw? And I said 83, and they're like wide-eyed and like super surprised, like holy. And especially for women in baseball, you know, 70 is a big number especially, but I know that 80 is like a super big number because you're super close to then getting to 90, which is like pro and everything like that. It means a lot because I'm basically proving everyone that they can do it, and it just gives all the other girls, then they know that it's actually something that they can accomplish as well. So it means a lot, actually.
So I was reading her blog, and she says that her pink hair really matters to her, and that she decided to dye it pink. She says here, so every single boy would know as they get up to bat, you are about to be struck out by a girl.
Good for her, good
No
for
kidding.
her. And I mean, all the hard work and the effort that she's put into it clearly is paying off because, I mean, her dad says ever since, I guess, that pitch, a couple of agents have gotten in touch.
Nice.
You never know where things are going to go, I suppose. That's the National for the September 8th. Have a good night.
Good night.